I really need to fix the intro. I don't know what is going on with OBS right now. Shout out to everybody, Room and Bella Margulis, to everybody. It's Don Willie back again for another edition of Ice and Fire Opinions. And oh boy, I'm gonna let you in a little inside baseball. I've been talking for the past 5 minutes. Didn't even realize that I was not live yet. Oh boy. Most people wouldn't have told you that, but hey, it is what it is. All right, so let's see who we got in the room right now. We got Marilyn Bentley. We got my boy Tony Umber, Lord of Last Hearth. We have Kat. We got Alicia Kingston. What up, AK? And we got my man Big E. Apparently, Team Killmonger. We'll have to talk about that a little bit later. Man, oh man. So, let's just jump right into this. So D.B. Weiss and David Benioff, the executive producers behind Game of Thrones. It was announced a couple of weeks ago that they would be getting their own Star Wars series. And as to whether or not this will be a TV show or movie trilogy, it is still kind of up in the air with that. We have not gotten 100% confirmation, but it does appear that it will be a trilogy, and this will not be centered around the Skywalkers, seeing as how, from the way that things have progressed in the saga films, the Skywalker saga will come to an end after episode. So, with the success, critical and commercial, of Star Wars The Last Jedi, after this, it was announced that not only Rian Johnson, he was going to get his own trilogy, but then Dan and Dave, as of maybe about 2 weeks ago. And, you have people out there who were very excited by this news. And, with this being my opinion show, I was not one of them. Oh boy. And also shout out to Ion Trone, When Debo Breaks Down the Door, and my man Frank from Way Off Topic Radio. Man, oh man. And Andy Kishore, what's going on? So, there's been a lot of contention on the internets, the interwebs, whatever you would like to call it, as to whether or not this move is a good idea. Now, I've gotten into some Twitter back and forths, and you guys can make sure to follow me at Don Willie on Twitter. And the people have said to me that hating on Dan and Dave is the popular thing to do. If you say that Game of Thrones is not on the level that it used to be, and that these two gentlemen have no business stepping into the realm of Star Wars, then you're just doing the popular thing. Look, if you go back to my reviews from season 5, I had major issues with things that they're doing with the storyline, but I was like, okay, you know what? Let me give them a little time, see if maybe this was a fluke, course corrections, etc., etc. Then season 6, it had moments, but for me, lackluster. And then season 7, it was like other than episode 3, everything else pretty much. Well, which one was the year one with Euron? That episode 2 or was it episode 4 with Euron? I don't know. There's only like 2 episodes out of the 6 that I was like, okay. One was amazing, and the other one was like, okay, you know what? If they keep up this level, it'll be decent. Shout out to Ricky Hunt. You haven't missed much yet, Rick. But man, oh man, what's funny? I remember seeing someone post on Twitter. The good thing about Dan and Dave doing their own Star Wars trilogy is they won't have any source material to ruin. Uh, this is true. Now, I don't want to be on here just being the guy who's trying to rain all over this parade and it's all about negativity. No, that's not what I came to do. I will say, if they are given something that is outside the realm, that is not any characters that have been previously introduced, that is something that is, maybe, I don't even know if expanded universe would be the right term, because expanded universe is converted to legends now, right? Um, so the question now remains: if they are not going to be touching previously established characters, what are they going to be? There has been speculation that they could possibly do an Old Republic movie. Now, many Star Wars fans have been clamoring, we've been begging Disney, Lucasfilm, whoever, do something about the Old Republic. If you're a video game head, if you're a comic book head, if you've read any of the old Legends novels, then you will know that the Old Republic era has some of the greatest Jedi and Sith battles. But if all of that stuff is wiped out, like, okay, well, what is actually right now? A lot of people have been clamoring for either something about Darth Bane or Darth Revan, and you know, Knights of the Old Republic. For anyone who has played that game, you will know how pivotal, how absolutely classic that game was, and how rich and expansive it was as an addition to Star Wars lore. The question is, do we want these two guys right here touching? Now, I'm pretty sure that you're going to have people who are going to say out there, like, look at what they have done with Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones looks so amazing. And for that, you'll be absolutely correct. Game of Thrones looks amazing. No doubt about that. Sky Atlantic, HBO, whatever other funding they have gotten, have given them a massive budget in order to make Game of Thrones look absolutely amazing. But looks are not everything. For those of you who grew up in the late 80s, early 90s, you will remember a character from a very popular TV show called Married with Children, and her name was Kelly Bundy. Kelly Bundy was the hot chick. She was the one that all the guys, even some of the girls, wanted. But she was about as dumb as a bag of rocks. And unfortunately, Game of Thrones has become Kelly Bundy over the past couple of seasons. And come on, we got to be honest here. Look, Game of Thrones for the first 4 seasons was getting nominated for writing, right? You had actors who were winning Emmys for the writing, and also because of the way that they were able to use the words that were put on paper to uh, to help garner success. And you get a lot of people who, the moment that you criticize the show for not being as good as it used to be, the first thing they say is, "Oh, you're just a book purist, book snob. You want everything to be like the." And for those of you out there who have that opinion, I would say you are fucking. I started off with the show. And shout out to Tyrion Jr. Landstark in the building. Yeah, I started out with the show. This show is the thing that got me to read the book. And I'll be honest with you. Most of the time when I get into uh, properties that are based on books, I usually don't read the books because the books, to me, I'm like, all right, if this is the thing that they adapted from a book into a TV show or a movie, this is it's serviceable. I can't imagine that I would be that much enthralled in the books, uh, after watching this TV show or watching this movie. Uh, Game of Thrones was one of the few exceptions. So, I am not one of these big book purists that everything must be as it is in the books. As it is garbage. No, that's not me. But once I got into the books and then started comparing the books to the show, as far as storytelling is concerned, I had to come to a realization that once Dan and Dave started to do their own thing, that the writing quality was far inferior to the writing quality of George. Again, we can talk about all the bright and shinies and all of the, oh look, they put out a banner. Oh look, I have a Funko Pop. Look at the bright and shiny. Look, that has fuck all to do with how you tell a. And that is why when it comes to uh this pairing of Weiss and Benioff with Star Wars, I have to be concerned. You know, look, and to take it back to right to Star Wars: The Last Jedi, I was not a fan of that movie. Uh, Anybody who has seen me on other videos or talked to me on Twitter, you will know I was not a fan of that movie whatsoever. And it's funny because one of the big things that people like whenever people say that they did not like that movie, you get thrown into a couple of categories. One, you anti-feminist, you're anti SJW, or you're just a fanboy who just wants everything to stay the same and you don't want anything to be. So those are the three main categories. No one ever really puts you into the category of you have a critical eye for storytelling, and you will not pour syrup on shit and call it pancake. And unfortunately, with Last Jedi, I feel that there are many people who have done that. Now, mind you, if you happen to like the movie, that's fine. But I would suggest that you do not, you know, fault other people who do not like the movie. Just as I would say the people who don't like the movie should fault the people too. But I think we absolutely have to be realistic when it comes to the story. If that had been a standalone Star Wars movie, disconnected from the rest of the Star Wars canon, characters were totally different. Luke Skywalker isn't Luke, he's Jake. Kylo Ren is was never Ben Solo, he was somebody else. Leia somebody else. The movie, it still wouldn't have made any sense. The story still wouldn't have made any damn sense, but it might have been a little bit more tolerable. Oh, and shout out to Ariel Doe. Very long time since I've seen you. Where have you been? But the thing about it is, as a Star Wars movie, uh, it was absolute shit as a Star Wars movie. As a sci-fi fantasy epic, but yeah, and the thing about it is, someone or a group of people had to sit down and read the script, the entirety, because I understand the actors may not get the entire script. The actors may only get their parts. So for a lot of them, they get to read their lines. They may not know the entirety of the story. So a lot of times they don't get to see the movie until the big Hollywood premiere. Alright, so by that time, if the story is shit, if the movie is shit, they're not gonna know until they see it. So you can't really fault the actors when they're going around saying, "Hey, yeah, this is great. My character gets to do all these great things, blah blah blah." But we did have Mark Hamill, who was a dissenting voice, who literally said, "I had to think of Luke as Jake Skywalker." Now, for for that script to get through the hands of the Lucasfilm Story Group, Kathleen Kennedy, the president, and whoever else, them to read the script, go through it, check off, approve this, film this movie, edit it down to what we got. You know, whatever scenes they didn't use, okay, we're gonna toss that. We don't need that. It's too much. Then say, this is the movie that we are going to present. How could I possibly have faith that uh, that they know what they're doing? And again, like I remember, a few days ago, or when it originally got announced that Benioff and Weiss were getting their own series. There's a gentleman who I'm subscribed to on YouTube that I also follow on Twitter. And I'm not promoting this channel. Fuck that. He wouldn't promote mine. But he me and him got into a back and forth because I was like, look, I don't consider this to be a victory. I'm like, if you've watched Game of Thrones over the past couple of seasons, I don't think you can consider this to actually be a victory for the Star Wars community. And here we have people, I'm pretty sure there are people who were jumping for joy talking about that this is gonna be that Star Wars is gonna be so phenomenal. Look at what they've done with Game of Thrones. Like, and again, all the bright and shinies and all of the, oh wow, look at how lightsabery the lightsabers are. Yeah, that's cool, but will the story be good? Are we going to have, a freaking sex position in space? Because one of the first things people were saying, "Oh my god, oh, does this mean we're getting R-rated Star Wars movies now?" No, we're not getting no R-rated Star Wars movies. Crazy? Disney's not doing that. No, no way in hell are we getting any R-rated Star Wars movies. Not happening. But the thing that we have to really look at again is, you know, are we gonna wind up getting a freaking Terminator chase scene somewhere on some distant planet? After someone has been stabbed through the stomach with a laser sword. It's like this person's entrails should have fallen out already. How in the world is this person able to do all these backflips? Apparently, this person doesn't even have force. Like, how are they able to do this right now? You know, um, and it's funny because the Lucasfilm team is being very kind of close to the vest and very secretive with the properties. I think they are acutely aware of the backlash that happened with episode 8. Whether or not they will try to course correct and do better quality control. That is the thing that I'm wondering. You know, um and now for those of you who don't know, either Weiss or Benioff, one of these two actually wrote a couple well no, wrote one movie which was Troy. Now, you know what? I want to see something. I'm going to go to Rotten Tomatoes. I want to see the score for Troy. Because I think we need that in our life right now, right? We need to know, because for the people out there who are saying how amazing, I want to see the right. What was the critic score, and also what was the audience score? Troy. So Troy, 2004, starring Brad Pitt. Critics Metascore 54%. Right, 54% falls under Rotten. And 73% of the audience. And you can usually find that for Rotten Tomatoes, uh, it's usually that the audience likes the movie more than what the critics did. Not always, but you know. And then the other property that's based off of something that was written by one of them, forget which one, Weiss or Benioff. 25th Hour, which was directed by Spike Lee. Uh, written by David Benioff. So that one, 78% Rotten Tomatoes, and 85% of the people liked it. Right? Hold on, let me. So David Benioff is also the one who wrote Troy. Um, and judging by what people are saying in the comments, yeah, um, Troy was not a hit with with people. the comment section here. Um, I thought it was, I understand what they tried, what they were trying to do with Troy, in terms of making it more grounded, making it so that there was no Deus Ex Machina. When something happened, it wasn't because the gods showed up to that. I understand, but it was weak. It was weak. Troy was weak. Now, mind you, for 25th hour, if I'm not mistaken, David Benioff did not actually write the screenplay. He wrote the book that the movie was based off of, but I don't believe he actually wrote the screenplay. I could be wrong though. So let me, you know what? We're gonna go to our old friend Wikipedia. Oh no, okay, so David Benioff actually did write the screenplay. 25th hour. Okay. Not a big hit. The budget was 5 million. It took in 23.9 million altogether. And I'll be honest with you, I've never seen 25th hour before. But apparently, people in the chat are saying it's good. Yeah, well, I mean, I'll see if it's on Netflix or something. Shout out to my brother JD. What's going on? It's the Rogues for life. And also shout out to Alejandra 77755. A lot of numbers in it. Why so many numbers? Oh, but yeah, it's one of those things where look, and again, like I said, I am not trying to just totally bash on Dan and Dave. The popular thing to do. No, I'm not trying to do that right now. I want to give a fair and balanced assessment of what I think these guys have done and how good I think they are at their craft. And the most recent work we have to go off of is Game of Thrones season 7. And while Game of Thrones season 7 um had moments, overall the writing was lackluster. And for those of you out there who are saying, "Oh, could you do better?" Possibly, but it's also not my job. My job isn't to write dialogue for famous people to say on screen for people for however many weeks your show is gonna run. Not my job. Okay. Could I be good at it if I tried? Pretty sure I could. If I really, put time into it, yeah. Anybody could if they put time into it and they really wanted to make the best quality they could, but I'll be honest with you, um it almost seems as if these two want to be done with Game of Thrones, and it shows in the writing. It shows in the writing when someone doesn't want to be uh when someone doesn't want to when someone isn't as invested as they were. Look, for many people, Game of Thrones is their favorite show ever. My favorite TV show ever, the one that I think has the least amount of flaws, because there is no such thing as a flawless anything. Okay, want everyone to get this through their head. There is no such thing as a flawless anything. Okay? Unless it is a diamond that is laser cut crafted, went down to the microscopic level, you could probably find a flaw in that too. Other than that, no such things as flawless anything. My favorite TV show, and hold on one second, I can get the box set to show you. I don't know if you guys can see this. You guys know what this is? Post it in the comments. But if you don't know, Breaking Bad, my favorite TV show of all time. Again, as I said before, least amount of flaws. Not perfect. Oh, shout out to Clay Springer, my man. See you at IsoFICOM, man. Back real quick. And you know what's funny? Ryan Johnson, who I was talking about earlier, actually directed a few of my favorite episodes from that series. Hold on. This is one of the things that kind of makes me really angry about the whole Last Jedi thing. Was the so he directed 3 episodes. Ryan Johnson directed 3 episodes of Breaking Bad. One of them, one of my favorite ones, Ozymandias from season 5, episode 14 of season 5, and I'm not gonna spoil it. If you haven't seen Breaking Bad, I would suggest that you go and check out that show if you want to see what is um a masterclass in storytelling in terms of beginning, middle, end, something with an overarching theme where you have uh characters who start in one place and in a different place, and you're able to see the transformation, the progression, the regression, whatever may have you, and it all makes sense. Now, mind you, again, like I said, there is no such thing as perfect. But in terms of a show that has the least amount of flaws, in my own opinion, Breaking Bad. And, you know, Vince Gilligan, who is the main writer, guy who's quality control on that show, has made sure that things have been kept consistent in terms of the level of storytelling. Because it does not rely on the flashy. Breaking Bad is practically bare bones. There is no, like every now and then you get, explosion. But that's like once every couple of seasons. There aren't any laser swords. There aren't any people with mystical powers. No, this is a small cast of characters, and in order to keep people engaged, they had to tell a concise story where things made sense. The Wire, another great show, but I'll be honest with you, season 4, no, sorry, season 2 and season 5 for me were Sopranos, another great TV show, and again, they had their times when it was that last episode was, oh my god, that was horrible. That last episode, I mean, it's not that the episode itself was horrible, but when they started to dip into the to like the last act and wrap everything up, it was, oh man, okay. Huh. You guys really wanted to be done with this, huh? Okay. So that's the thing for me is like someone has to be willing to say this is not good enough. The only way that we as a fandom, from whatever fandom you might be part of, the only way you are going to get the best is to demand the best. If someone starts off at a 10, if they dip below a 7 and you still call it a 10, they're going to be like, oh shit, how low can we go? If they go to a 5 and you still call it a 10, I'm like, okay, well, fuck it. They go to 3 and you still give them a 10, fuck it, okay. Then, hey, you have no one to blame but yourself at that point because you allowed that to happen. You said that, oh, it doesn't matter. And that was one of the things that really kills me about a lot of this stuff is people saying, oh, it doesn't matter that this doesn't make sense. It doesn't matter that the pieces don't fall into place. Look, if these are things that you would like to pass on to future generations, Star Wars is a thing that, eventually when I had children, I wanted to be able to sit down with my kids and say, hey, look at this thing that I thought was awesome when I was your age. And that changed my life and it helped me become the person that I am. I can't do that now. I can't do that. No, because at the end of the day, if I'm sitting here looking at at listen, the prequel trilogy, I'm one of the people who I know the movie, and again, just had the same way I was saying about the Last Jedi. I'm one of the people that I know that they are very, very flawed. All right, and it's one of those things where, okay, look at the bright and shiny, but at least the thing that I can say is even though the execution was not done well, if you wrote everything down on paper, the story, if you wrote the story down on paper, the story would still make sense. And that is what I am afraid of when it comes to Weiss and Benioff doing a Star Wars trilogy. Is that when you take the story off the screen and put it to paper, that it will not make sense. That is not what we need to happen. You know, and again, like, or not again, but if I have not said this before, I want to say this now. I do not want to be proven right. Okay? I want for whatever is going to happen, Star Wars going forward, to be amazing. Okay? Episode 8, no, listen, I don't care what anybody says. Episode 8, as far as story was concerned, with fitting into Star Wars continuity, absolute shit. Uh, for me, the trilogy ends after Return of the Jedi. Like the story ends after Return of the Jedi. My copy of Force Awakens, I tap danced all over that in the backyard. I played Savion, Glover, Gregory Hines, and Ben Vereen, all in the same. Michael Flatley had nothing on me that day. Okay? I'm not going to see episode 9. There is no saving uh this new trilogy for me. This new trilogy is shit. But as far as Weiss and Benioff, I want them to amaze me. Okay? I want for people who have been following Game of Thrones or who have been following Star Wars, people who are currently detractors. I want those people to say, Don, Willie, you must go see such and such Star Wars. If you don't do that, you are doing yourself a disservice. Dan and Dave have rebooted themselves. They've gotten back into form. They have uh, they have somehow, pulled a rabbit out of their hat, and that rabbit had magic powers and pulled a rabbit out of its hat. Um, that's what I want. I don't want to be the guy in however many years from now sitting here like, look, see, I told you guys, you guys were all about the bright and shiny, and look, we got another shit movie with a lot of bright and shiny on. How do you how do you like your turd pancake? I don't want to be that guy. I do not want to be that. All right. So if anyone who ever has any dealings with Dan and Dave ever see this, I do not want to be the guy ranting about how Dan and Dave ruined Star Wars even with no source material. Oh god. Oh yeah, that would be, oh my god, that was oh my god. Hilarious. Uh all right, so uh man. All right, let's take some questions. Let's take some questions. I mean, folks. Yeah, cause man, yeah, I'm done with that part. Let's get it. Just remember, okay? You heard me say I do want these guys to succeed. All right. So anybody who says, "Oh, you're just Dan and Dave hater," no, I want these guys to succeed. I want anything that I'm watching to be good. Right? Uh, this one, I like this one as a Star Wars movie. That that retread over old ground, but gave us something new. Never seen a Hammerhead Corvette before. No, sorry, seen a Hammerhead Corvette in Rebels. Rebels. Hammerhead Corvette in Rebels was awesome, but it was even more awesome when we got to see it ram into a Star Destroyer, destroy that gate. What's my name? Orson Krennic, Director Krennic. Orson Krennic was awesome. Death Troopers. The Death Troopers were awesome. Saw Gerrera, crazy ass Saw Gerrera was awesome. No. Jen Urso, awesome. All right, so yeah, What is that? Any questions? Well, people would have some questions for me. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Let's see. What storyline would you like to see D&D put out? And that's from Alicia Kingston. So, look. Oh man. I mean, look, based on their current work and based off of what I've wanted to see forever, I would like to see an old Republic movie. You know, something thousands of years ago that has absolutely no bearing on current stuff. I don't want to hear any mention of any Skywalker prophecies or anything like that. You know, uh, either something during a Mandalorian war or a Sith war. They decide to go with it, maybe Jedi Civil War. I don't know. But something very old Republic. Unless you're just gonna say, "I fuck it, we're going far into the future." I don't know, man, because uh I mean it's hard to tell because Star Wars Star Wars is different from Star Trek. Well, right? Like I'm going off on a little side tangent here, but like oh, shout out to IC Spots. What's going on? Um, so Star Wars. Sorry, no, I mean Star Trek. Star Trek, just recently had the series Discovery, and there were a lot of people who were kind of like, all right, well, instead of you just going back to the old well and using older characters and bringing new characters and kind of messing up the timeline, why didn't you just jump into the future? Because you had the original Star Trek, and then they did Next Generation, they did Voyager, Deep Space Nine, and then they did Enterprise. Enterprise took place in a totally different timeline, not a timeline, but a totally different generation. That was like the first generation of the Federation or whatever. Um, and so a lot of people wanted Discovery to be even further into the future. And so with Star Wars, it's a little difficult because Star Wars, even though it says a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, it's so futuristic as far as the technology is concerned that it might be difficult for them to do a story that's more future. Um, so they may have no choice if they're not going to stay like around the current generation like of characters in terms of like the timeline, not necessarily interacting, but the actual timeline. Um, they may have no choice but to do an Old Republic story because, again, with the way that their technology is set up, it it may not allow for them to do anything futuristic. Because how much more futuristic could you possibly get? So yeah, that's kind of where it might. Be. Oh, Pack Mule. AU Pack Mule is an. Remember, you got to back the pack. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with those guys. All right. So from Alejandra 777 555. Do you think people were overreacting when they accused Dan and Dave of being sexist, always including sexual violence against their female characters? Hmm, possibly. Uh, it might have been possible overreaction. See, here's the thing you got to think about, right? We live in a particular day and time where violence against women not as openly tolerated. Now, mind you, there are times where uh, violent acts against women have been either swept under the rug or maybe the guy who perpetrated the act is later forgiven, um, done whatever atonement or tried to make amends. Um, but there was a time where men could be violent towards women, and it was like, hey, women were looked at as property. Um, with the way that marriages were arranged, and dowries, etc., etc., it was those were business transactions. Women were part of business transactions. They were not the same men. So, you know, they were depicting an attitude that was pervasive at a point during history. And to be honest with you, is still pervasive in some countries in the world right now. There are places that you go to in the world right now where women do not have the same rights as men, uh where women are treated as second class citizens. Um and I think because of our current sensibilities in, what we consider to be the modern or developed world, when we see these depictions on screen, they're shocking to us because for the most part, the men that perpetrate these acts don't necessarily have to be held accountable. There's no particular penance that they're forced to pay, and so it's like when we see this stuff, it's like, yeah, we want to see people who commit acts of violence against anyone. We want to see them pay. Oh, and for to see these characters be kind of so cavalier about it, it's shocking to the system. And I think that there are times where you have to step out of your own particular sensibilities and say, look, that was a time which your particular ancestors might have done some of those same acts. It's not where you are personally, but that was a thing. Again, in some places it still is. Um so yeah, I mean, again, do you force these guys to shy away from that particular part of the story because it's something that you would rather not see? Um Look, there are times seeing movies about slavery that I don't particularly find enjoyable. I mean, I don't find anything about slavery to be enjoyable. But that was a thing that happened, and we can't live in denial about that. In order for people to, I don't know, move, not just move past it, but in order for people to learn from it. People have to see what the actual brutality of those situations were. You know, yeah. So I mean, again, I think that there is a such thing as fake outrage. There's definitely such a thing as fake outrage. Uh, the Sansa rape scene in particular, which we don't even actually see her get raped. We see Theon's reaction. We hear her screaming, but we don't actually see her getting raped. Uh, that was the reaction to that. I was like, first off, I knew that was gonna happen. I told people months before, that, like, yeah, Sansa's getting the Jane Poole treatment, and if you had even read the books, it was worse in the books. It was like 10 times worse in the books. I was about to say 100, maybe not 100, but it was at least 10 times worse in the books what happened to Jane Poole versus Sansa, and it was very graphically detailed as to what was happening to Jane Poole in the damn book. All right, um, so yeah, look, there's gotta be a point in which people step outside of themselves, stop getting so in their damn feelings, and just be able to sit back and say, okay, yeah, this isn't necessarily what I find entertaining, but it is a thing or was a thing, right? That's yeah. I've been kind of long winded with this. Yeah, it either is or was a thing at some point, and that's the thing that needs to be recognized. That was super extra long winded, but I had to really put some sauce on that real quick. uh See, but look, see, this is why I love people who come and hang out with me too, though, because they give me questions that I get to really put on my thinking cap and delve into philosophical. All right, oh, Debo breaks down the door. Let's see. This I'm pretty sure this is gonna. All right. What do you see in Rogue One considering the weak character development? Is it just Darth Vader hype development? Okay. Oh man. All right. Look. So Rogue One was Rogue One, and again, I don't know if you were here when I said least amount of flaws. Now I've seen many criticisms about Rogue One, about how Rogue One, Jyn Erso lacks character development, and look, yeah, you could say that, right? Um, there's a lot of her backstory that's left out. They crammed a lot into this movie. The thing that I liked about the movie, one, it had the classic Star Wars feel to it. Yeah, I'm an old Star Wars head, so anything that kind of throws me back into that universe and really sticks to the script was good for me. Um, Two, what I liked about it was we got the we got an expansion of something that was literally like 2 or 3 lines in the opening crawl of A New Hope. It was just basically the rebels have stolen Death Star plans and are delivering them to Alderaan. That was it. And they turned that into a 2 hour movie. All right. And the thing about it is, you know, um, it answered um something that many people felt to be a plot hole for decades. It gave us an awesome scene with Darth Vader, like probably one of the best Darth Vader scenes ever. Um, we got an end to a character who had been shown in uh Clone Wars and Rebels, that being um Saw Gerrera. If you ever watched Clone Wars and Rebels, Clone Wars and Rebels, Saw Gerrera was doing his damn thing. We got to see how far he had fallen for his idealism. We got to learn more about Kyber crystals. Uh, see what else was. Like I said before, Orson Krennic was awesome villain to me, and because he was the dude who who he wanted to rise high in the Empire. He wanted to be more, and he had this back and forth with Tarkin. I mean, CGI Tarkin, CGI Tarkin was a problem. I can't overlook that. CGI Tarkin was a problem. It would have been better. It would have been better if they would have if they would have tried to get a guy to look more like Peter Cushing, and we could I would have bought that a little more. Or prosthetics. I mean, it probably would have been better if they would have done prosthetics. Give somebody a mask to look like Peter Cushing. you know. Um Shout out to JW Flux. But yeah, like I said, Rogue One for me, I think deepened the lore. And again, the way that they were able to turn something that was a couple of lines opening crawl into a full on movie. How could how could you stop? How could you? Look at the smile on my face. Look at the hat I'm wearing, man. Come on, you can't stun on Rogue One. Rogue One was a good Star Wars. Better than the last year. Better than the Force Awakens. I said it. All right then. Let's see what we got next. Let's see. Another one from Debo. All right. All right. Let's see here. Do you think D&D favorite is Empire Strikes Back? Because oh my oh my god, I couldn't even get through the whole thing. Oh my god, you are hilarious. Oh my god. Okay, let me try this one more time. Do you think D&D's favorite is Empire Strikes Back because Luke kisses Leia and wants to hit it from the I need to chill? Wow. Oh my god, you wildin'. Oh my god, you are absolutely hilarious. Uh I mean, you know what's funny? I don't know that they would have written any incest into remember the incest thing came from George, right? But really it's funny, man. Incest thing, the incest thing is a historical thing. Uh I forget if it's Spanish or French family, like royal family. where one of them, because they had so much inbreeding, like their royal portraits, and you see like the generations and deformities that develop throughout the generations because of their inbreeding. So, I can't even blame the incest thing on George. It just came off as a little too prevalent, though. So that's the crazy thing. It's like, even if I wanted to blame them, I can't because it's a historical thing. And it is disgusting. All right, from Ricky Hunt. Would you take Into Darkness over Force Awakens? Man, Into Darkness. Um, Into Darkness or what's the sad part? Because because like both of them are essentially retreads of better movies. Yes, they look better. They're more slick in terms of the special effects and all that, but the stories are retreads of much better movies. Unfortunately, oh damn, and I hate to say this. Unfortunately, I'd have to choose The Force Awakens for um over Into Darkness. But you see how it's paining me to do that, right? Like, like it's literally the lesser of two evils, and not by much. Oh, yeah. Oh my. Yeah. All right. Iron Tron asks if you had to pick only one Star Wars or that's a hard question, and man, Star Wars or Star Trek? Shout out to Kevin Cleary. What's going on? Long time no see. Um, ay ay ay. Star Wars or Star Trek? Damn, that is a really hard question. Because I love them both. I love them both for different reasons. At right now, if you want to say today, I would have to say Star Trek. Because Star Wars for me, as of right now, today is. I know my good friend AU Packmu wholeheartedly disagree, and I wish his mind were not clouded. Yeah, I just called you out, Pack. I had to. I had to. But speaking of which, I got a question from AU Packmu. What's your biggest fear of D&D? Now if you're talking about my biggest fear with regards to them handling Star Wars, it is that there won't be quality control enough for them to tell a coherent narrative. Again, it is one thing to, you know, put some words on paper and then throw some bright and shiny stuff, to say, hey, look, you know, forget about the flaws here. We have pew 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 going on, and whoosh, look, they're flying through hyperspace. Oh, force jump! Oh my god, he used the force. Like it's one thing to have all that, but um, yeah, you I don't know. It's still you got to have someone who looks at the story and is willing to tell them when something is not good, right? You know, same problem we had with the prequels. There wasn't someone willing to tell George Lucas, "Look, George, this is not good. This is not good." Okay, and even the prequels were not 100% bad, but they were there was too much bad in them. Just like even with seasons 5 through 7 of Game of Thrones, it wasn't 100% bad. But there's no reason why Davos should be telling Gendry, I thought you'd still be rowing by now. Like what? Come on, man. Like come on. Let's be more mature than that. That was an internet meme. Like internet memes should not be making it to your TV. So that's my fear. That is my fear. Okay. Um Next up from When Debo breaks down a door. Is it a good idea to bring Game of Thrones actors into Star Wars cast? Or have their prevalent prominent primes pass? What the heck? Oh my god. Um Listen, I would not be surprised to see Peter Dinklage in a Star Wars movie. Um Peter Dinklage I could see in a Star Wars movie. I could see them casting what's Kit Harrington possibly in some heroic or roguish thing. Um Dude that played Ramsey, I think unfortunately after Inhumans, his career is done for. Like, yo, you out of here, son. They didn't fuck his whole shit up. Humans. Oh god, Inhumans was so bad. Um there's not I mean like there's a couple I could see doing Star Wars, but not many. Um like I don't think we're gonna see Nikolai Costa Waldo or Jerome Flynn, like nah. If anything, we'd get Kit Harrington, Peter Dinklage. We already got Amelia Clark in the Han Solo movie, which that one looks like absolute. Um uh so yeah, Kit Harrington, Peter Dinklage, maybe down the line, Sophie Turner. Uh, I thought I mentioned one more. Yeah, I mean, pretty much it. Kit Harington, Peter Dinklage, and maybe Sophie Turner, maybe, or if you want someone who's a little more scrappy, to do some crazy that they have crazy stunt work for and make her look more like a badass fighter. You can get Maisie Williams and something, and I think she would be awesome. I wouldn't want to see her as a Jedi. I would want to see Maisie Williams as like a defected stormtrooper, or some. Uh, I'd like to see her in what Rose should have been, or more of like was like in what Leia was like in Return of the Jedi, except maybe more fisticuffs. Shout out to Terry T building. Hey, let's see here. And yeah, AU, I do think we might need multiple writers. All right, for Ricky Hunt, what do you think D&D do worse, character development and backstory, or dialogue? Um, it depends. You know, I think when they don't necessarily have a character's full backstory, or when they decide to go off book, like within cases like Loris Tyrell, the Sand Snakes, Doran Martell, when they decide that they're not going to stick to the book with regards to characters, it gets bad as far as character development, because when you say that I am not going uh portray who this person originally was meant to be, and you say, well, you know what, this is my version of the character, it can become uh problematic. As far as dialogue is, they actually have had some decent dialogue when they actually really decide that they're really gonna uh you know try to keep up the level of story writing. Again, one of my favorite pieces of dialogue from the show that did not come from the books was the Chaos is a Ladder monologue. That one of my absolute favorites, written by Weiss and Benioff. One of the two, both of them, whatever, right? Um, but gems like that, unfortunately, are few and far between. Um, Look, unfortunately, we got the damn bad pussy line. We got that scene with Arya and the guards at Winterfell. Absolutely atrocious. You know, and it, oh my god, the the scene with Elena and Jamie, right? Now towards the end, like the very last scene that they have together, towards the end it starts to get good. But when Jamie first shows up and Elena is like, hey, how did we do? Uh and she's like, yeah, we've never really been the best fighters. And I'm like, see, here we go, going off book. Look, I understand you want to show that the Tyrell forces have been decimated, but the Tyrell forces are not just some damn pushover. Okay, the Tyrell forces are what helped win the Battle of Blackwater. So, again, when you decide to go off book, your own thing, problematic. It it's a case by case basis whether or not it's character development or dialogue. It's not an and I really wish it wasn't either. Let's. All right, so from Alicia Kingston, what's the worst thing you think D&D could do to ruin the Star Wars? Um, man, oh man. Um, ay ay ay. I think the worst thing that they could do is provide an incoherent, inconsistent narrative and have people praise it anyway. Uh, and again, even with Game of Thrones, I think that because they have been given such free reign, like, oh, you still have the number. As long as they have the numbers on their side, uh, unfortunately, instead of them having quality control and having people to say no, you cannot do this because it will be incongruous with something that has come before, or it will make something that should happen based on the way that you have written things, it will make it illogical for the logic thing to happen. I think that that will be the worst thing that they can possibly is be allowed to feed into their own hype. That would be the worst thing. To think that they could do no wrong, and for them to be backed by Disney at. All right, next up from when Devo breaks down the door. Damn, I am 10 minutes behind when it comes to questions. Man, all right, then our Guinness. All right, if you were a writer for the Last Jedi, would you have bodied Leia and brought a tear to the eye, or stuck to killing Luke, letting the Jedi die? Um, yeah, listen, man, I think that it was personally, I think it would have been the right thing to do to uh let Leia die. I would have probably recut the scene. I don't for one, I don't think Admiral Akbar should have died. Uh, and I had a massive problem with what was done with Luke Skywalker. And not the fact that I went into the movie fully expecting would uh that I went into this movie expecting that he does not make it out of the trilogy. Period, point blank. Once they killed off Han, I was like, oh, okay, anybody can get it then. I know that that Harrison Ford specifically was like, no, I want Han to die. But I was like, okay, anybody can get it. Anybody can be offed. And I understood that. I just felt that the way that it was executed was kind of a slap in the face to people who have been waiting to see Luke Skywalker be the hero. It was kind of a cheap way of taking out that character. I've already talked about this. I don't want to be all right. Sorry, but yeah, man. I Pack. I don't know how you. I don't know how, Pack. I don't know. And I know this wasn't Pack Mule's question, but anytime I think about that movie, Pack, I don't know. I I don't. All right, all right. Next up for Ricky Hunt, non Game of Thrones or Star Wars related question. What do you think about Agents of Shield this season? I'm still loving Agents of Shield. They finished their first part of their story arc season. They're coming back in a couple of weeks. Actually live stream next Thursday, I believe, 9 p.m. Eastern with Darren Jakes from Hughes. So look out for the link on Twitter for that one. Um, yeah, Agents of Shield. Again, quality control, right? The first half of season one did not have the same level of quality control that things went on to have later on. So, Agents of Shield, Agents of Shield is on a plateau right now, but it is a high plateau because they got to a point where it was like the stories kept getting better and better and better, and it's like, man, I'm not sure that it can get any better than this. So, I am glad that is Agents of Shield is still going strong. Um they've been able to break away from the Marvel Cinematic Universe, tell their own stories, and those stories are amazing. Personally, if you want to talk about like comic book shows, I know that the Marvel Netflix stuff gets high praise. I mean, for the most part, right? Daredevil season one, you know, top marks. Jessica Jones season one, top marks. Daredevil season two is, eh, you know, it. I mean, it's still great, but people don't throw it in the same esteem. Luke Cage, the first half was amazing. The second half, was like, hell, you remember all that amazing stuff you liked, and they just literally like judo flipped it over a cliff. Um, Iron Fist was straight trash. Uh, uh, the Defenders more trash, and the Punisher I have to go and rewatch from the beginning because unfortunately when I started watching I was kind of sick and I slept through like half of the episode. So yeah, but from what I've heard, the Punisher was amazing. But personally, I think that um Agents of Shield is currently the best comic book related show on TV. Not just superhero show, but comic book related show, and that's even above The Walking Dead, right? In terms of quality writing, uh, amazing special effects, and just delivering week after week with consistently good episodes. And nowadays with 22 and 23 episode seasons, that's a hard thing to do. And I think for like they're on season 5, and from the second half of season 1 on, it has been an absolute joy, and I love watching it. So if you're not watching Agents of Shield right now, man, you have no idea what. All right, next up from when Diva breaks down the door. Let's see here. Let's put our grievances to rest. what do you think Weiss and Benioff do best? I think when it comes to the bright and shiny, they do that the best. They do that amazingly. When it comes to um making sure that Game of Thrones looks good on screen. I think that, you know, if you had people who were just like, okay, we just need to make you look all right enough, you know, Game of Thrones could have fallen to the wayside and could have just been another thing. It may not have been the phenomenon that it became, but I think because they paid attention to detail with regards to the look. Now, mind you, yes, they not everything is perfect. You know, fact that like nobody has a helmet or a shield, is like okay. I mean, I understand it's supposed to be the whole thing of they want to showcase the actors, so you can't really have them with helmets too often. No helmets whatsoever. Middle of a war zone. Yeah, okay, but it still looks good. It's shot amazingly. I went to go see what was it? Battle at the Wall. Yeah, the Battle at the Wall. I went to go see that in IMAX. When they had that one, and then I think the one right after that. You know, it looked amazing. Looked absolutely amazing. You know, like I said, that is the thing that when Game of Thrones gets nominated for Emmys now, they get nominated for costume design, for cinematography. It's all aesthetic things that they get nominated for. They don't get nominated for writing anymore. I said they did an amazing job of making sure that it looks good. But yeah, I mean that's about it right now. Wait a minute, my mic keeps on cutting out? Really? It's funny because like the meter is showing that it damn. It's funny because the meter keeps on showing that my mic is working fine, so I'm not sure why it's cutting out on your why it's cutting out for you guys. Alright, hold on. Let me check something here with the sound. And I know I'm a couple of minutes behind now. Alright, hopefully that does the trick and does not overload the mic. Alicia Casey says Iron Fist sucked. The Knight of Flowers should have stayed his ass in Westeros. I mean, they weren't doing shit with him. They could have cut a 7 point star on his head for being gay and then blew him to smithereens. I mean, like, you know. Let's see. I have not seen the Exorcist series, Cat. Cleo Springer says, "Where's the Soul Gem? Coulson should be in Infinity War." This is true. This is true. I really, I was hoping at some point that they would reintegrate the Agents of Shield into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. To make them more more part of it, but you can't win them all, unfortunately. All right, let's see another question from AK. Have you seen the trailer for Jessica Jones season 2? If so, what do you think of it? If not, can we watch it together now? I have not seen the trailer for Jessica Jones season 2 yet. Um I would watch it now, but I do not want to take the chance of this whole entire video getting flagged. Because the moment that the sound pops up, you're like, oh, copyright infringement, boom. And they pick and choose what channels they want to do that to. So hit me up after the show. We can talk about the trailer, but yeah, I haven't seen it, and you know, um, I just don't want them to flag the damn video. All right, let's see here. Okay, so Ariel Do asks, have you seen episode 1 of that History Channel series? History Channel Templar show. The actors have cameras inside their helms, and it's Vomit Cam City. I saw episode 1. Um, I did see episode 1 of honestly speaking, like it was okay. Like, what's funny, because History Channel Vikings is amazing. Like, any of you who've not watched Vikings is absolutely amazing. They tried to do almost a Viking esque style Templar show, and it's weird because here you have these knights who are supposed to be chaste, but one of them, has a mistress who's uh like she's like a royal or something like that, and I tried, and I was just like, I can't. Something about it just wasn't as something about it just didn't grip me the way Vikings did. And I was hoping it would, because like I not that I've like extensively studied the Templars, but I've watched a few documentaries on the Templars, and like that whole Middle Ages era with the Crusades, and like how the Templars helped set up what we would consider to be the modern day banking system. There's a lot about that I really enjoy in terms of historically speaking. But for some reason, seeing them make a drama on screen um just did not work the same for me. I wanted it to, but it just, I was like, no, sorry. But it looked good. And I was thinking, it looked like it was gonna be on the same level. But for some reason, something about the storytelling just, I was like, yeah. Episode 1 for me was just so lackluster that I was like, I can't. I'm like, if this is what they're doing with it, I can't. From now, like now on, you gotta catch me from episode 1. If episode 1 is trash, I can't like, you're not gonna get me to episode 2 if episode 1 is trash. Oh, JD's back. Oh man, oh man. Uh-uh. Yeah, Nightfall. Nightfall was. Oh man. Um, Black Sails. Wow. So, Alejandra 7775555 says Black Sails sucked. Don't watch it. Save your eyes. Wow. It's funny because I was gonna check out Black Sails too. You know what's one that I really loved that I thought based on who that I thought based on who was the executive producer that I thought it was gonna be trash. Spartacus. That whole series, Blood and Sand, shit. Damn, I forgot what the prequel is called. But that whole Spartacus series, and oh man, Andy Whitfield was such a great Spartacus, and the fact that he died in between like seasons 1 and 2, man, that hurt my heart, man, because I really was like, yo, this dude, um, he really, I think embodied the role. And it's funny because the dude that they got to replace him when he came up, I was like, okay, he's all right. I was like, why does it look like they got to do that is like less muscular to play Spartacus? I'm like, you got all the rest of these dudes as gladiators. They huge, they extra swole. And it's like, did they just get like some dude? It's like, all right, he's a good actor, but you didn't have him train. Like, did you not have him? Like, he should be doing push-ups before every take or something like that. Because I'm like, Spartacus is looking a little skinny right now. Oh man. Ricky says he couldn't continue after Andy Whitfield was recasted. Ah man, no, Spartacus was still good after that, especially when they got to the whole Crassus stuff. But yo, Caesar, the one thing that absolutely bothered me about Spartacus in the later uh seasons. Oh, peace, Tony. But he got to bounce. Um, yeah. Oh man, the portrayal of Gaius Julius Caesar. Look, I don't know about the rest of you guys. I'm somebody who, if you're gonna do something historical, at least attempt to make it accurate. At some point. It's like, I understand you can't get all the details from something from thousands of years ago. But there is, look, I grew up in what was at one point a predominantly Italian neighborhood. I know a lot of Italians. I have never seen one that looks like they have came from a Nordic region. Not if they were like 100% full-blooded Italian. And so to see Julius Caesar basically look like he should have been one of the Vikings or he should have been one of the gladiators that they got from Gaul. To see Caesar, look like that instead of like the dude that they got to play Crassus was like, okay, uh, you know, he's got blue eyes instead of brown eyes, but we can live with that. I know a couple of blue eyed Italians, like 3 or 4 out of like the couple hundred that I've met over my life, right? Uh, but the guy who played Caesar, I was like, dude, there's no way he could ever pass for any kind of Italian. I don't care that it was supposed to be 2,500 years ago or like 2,000. No, like there's no kind of Italian that the dude who played Caesar in Spartacus would pass for. Like what? No. And people say like because in the TV show Rome, they cast a dude who was blind to play whatchamacallit was Augustus, Octavian, who wound up calling himself Augustus. Shout out to DJ11. What's going on, man? But yeah, it's one of those things where I was like, okay, he at least the guy that they got to play him kind of resembled what the statues look like. The dude that they got for Caesar, I was like, yo, come on, man. Come on, man. Really? Really? Is this what we doing? So that was like my one big gripe. When I saw the dude that they got to play Caesar, I was like, why did you do this? Oh my god. Like when they had what's my man? Ciaran Hinds. Ciaran Hinds and Caesar. I was like, yo, this dude's amazing. But the dude from Spartacus, I was like, you gotta be kidding me with this shit. Oh man. Bamzuki. What's going on, man? So sorry, but season 7 was trash compared to earlier seasons. Tis true. Tis true. Season 7, and if we're talking about Game of Thrones, yes, season 7 was absolute trash. If you're talking about Black Sails, I didn't even know Black Sails made it to 7 seasons. you know. And now, Ariel, I did not grow up in Bensonhurst. I grew up in Canarsie, which when I moved over here, yeah, when I moved to Canarsie, it was probably about 60 to 70% Italian when I moved here. Not so much anymore. Let's see. So Aerodel saying that. Hold on. I gotta go back a couple. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Throwing out some facts there. Seeing as I love discussing historical stuff. So it says the Norman invasions circa 10 CE introduced Nordic genes too early for blue-eyed Romans. Yeah. Let's see here. It says although um Padmo Ped, hmm, Pedmont. You know what? I can't pronounce this word, unfortunately. Yeah, unfortunately, I can't pronounce this word. Uh, I mean, like I said, um, it wasn't even the fact that Caesar had blue eyes. Uh, it wasn't the fact that Caesar had blue eyes. It was more the fact that he looked like not one Italian I've ever seen. You know, that was my whole thing. It's like even if you gave him different color hair and eyes, I mean, like this is Caesar. Caesar is the quint. Like if you think like there are a few things that you think about when someone mentions the word Italy: pizza, Leonardo da Vinci, the Colosseum, Julius Caesar. Okay, Piedmontese. Piedmont. You know what? Never heard of the Piedmontese. I'll be honest with you. See DJ one up there making fun of me for me not being able to read. Hey, listen, I didn't go to the Derek Zoolander school for kids who can't read good, alright? So forgive me if I am not a Rhodes Scholar, sir. Oh man. So Kat is asking, what do you think is the worst thing D&D could do to Star Wars? Oh, yeah, you see, wait, I guess you must have left for a while. Basically, I said the earlier was the worst thing that D&D could do to Star Wars is to buy into their own hype and to not have some sort of quality control that ensures that they tell a cohesive narrative. And as I was saying before, based on how The Last Jedi came out, I wouldn't be surprised if they don't have any kind of quality control, ensuring that they keep a cohesive narrative. Uh, oh my god, why? Oh, why? Oh my god. All right, Ricky Hunt asks, how do you feel about Sigrid being killed off in Vikings? Director said it was simply for shock value. It shocked the hell out of me. Because like I started reading up on the whole Vikings thing, and I'm sitting up there like, wait, um, he he's supposed to be dead. According to history, he lived and when he became one of the Norwegian kings. What? Okay. Wow. Damn. All right. You know, it was shocking. And we'll see what happens. You know, man. All right. So, GJ11 says new theory: Caesar is man's radar. I mean, this is actually true. It's not even a theory anymore. Oh man! Shout out to Joe Swag and Hazel Reed. What's going on, y'all? Let's see here. Some didn't watch Black Sails because of Spartacus. They blamed the series for taking its spot. Spartacus ended where it needed to end. It ended where it needed to end. Um, yeah. Spartacus ended where it needed to end. I thought it was an amazing ending to the series, and the fact that at the end of Spartacus, like, because remember, Spartacus wasn't his real name. So I like the fact that they just didn't give him some random name, because look, the series of Spartacus, in terms of some of the events that happen, are more historically accurate than the movie that came out back in like the 50s or 60s. Um, which at the time was a big Hollywood, that was a big budget Hollywood film. I liked it. It looked good, you know. But yeah, look, I like the detail, the level of detail that they put into that whole Blood and Sand series, man, was awesome. I love that one. Absolutely, absolutely loved it. And see, another thing, here's what I'm, talking about in terms of quality control, because the way that the dialogue was written, to where it wasn't plain dialogue, but it wasn't over the top in terms of heavy handed with, okay, we're gonna hit you with the thou art, because they said they originally they wanted to write it very Shakespearean, and they said no, they found a happy medium to that. And I like the fact that it wasn't like it, the way that they made them speak, it was as if it was of a different time that was less sophisticated. So the way that they talked, yes, it was sophisticated for that era, but it still felt primitive. And that was the thing that I loved about the dialogue in that Spartacus series. So I mean, I think they did an amazing job with that. And I love the tribute to Andy Whitfield at the end too, man. That was, that was absolutely, that was a great send off. Andy Reid asks, "How do you feel about seeing Caesar get embarrassed on Spartacus?" Yeah, listen, man, that was when I saw that, I was like, "What?" Yeah, man. One of the many issues I had with the portrayal of Caesar. I mean, Caesar, they did a lot to Caesar that was just like, this isn't Caesar. They gave him a name, but that wasn't Caesar. Crassus, Marcus Crassus was the man. Crassus was the man, and it was ill how at the end, when Pompey shows up, Pompey shows up with the white armor. I was like, the fuck is this? Like, yo, is that even? I don't know if it's historically accurate or not. But Pompey came through us and we're like, yes, and I shall tell the Senate how I conquered the Gauls, and I was able to stamp out Spartacus. Caesar's up to like, what? How dare he? Crash is like, listen, kid, we got this. We got this. We'll let him have this. We'll let him have this. Hold up. AKJD, somebody get rid of the damn toilet. Fuck out of here with this dumb shit. What the hell is wrong with you? Really? Oh my god. Anyway, yeah, man. Caesar was not Caesar in many regards in that show. So, um, all right. So, AK asks, what prequel stories would you like to see for Game of Thrones universe? Um, I don't know. That is, I don't know. I mean, I'd love to see some Legends of the Long Night stuff, the Nymeria stuff. Valeria. At its height. Maybe the founding of Bravos. Maybe some stories from ET, Five Forts. That would be interesting. Shy by the Shadow. There's so many things. The Andal invasion. Even though the Andal invasion took place, I mean, it wasn't like one thing. Aegon's conquest, obviously. Dance of the Dragons. Maybe something with like the what is it? The original Garth Greenhand. Maybe something with Garth Greenhand. That would be interesting to see like how all his descendants developed Westeros or whatever. Oh wait up, you said wow, they're not letting you ban people? All right, well listen, Toilet, you come back, man. You catching that hammer. All right, let's see here. Ariel, you're funny. Said to appease SJW, they go after patriarchal Senate triumvirate. Oh my god. Mm-mm-mm. I'm trying to think. What's something else that I would like to see in terms of Game of Thrones uh prequel, Song of Ice and Fire stuff. I think the reign of Maegor the Cruel would be interesting. The reign of Maegor the Cruel. That would be a very interesting thing because remember he has many parallels to Henry VIII, but it's a thing where it's like he's also got a dragon, so I mean, yeah, Maegor the Cruel. That would be awesome. Maegor the Cruel. Iron Throne says an anthology series. Huh, okay. Yeah. Clay Springer says, "I wish they'd do period pieces in sections of the world of Ice and Fire. Yeah, that would be awesome. Yeah, I mean, imagine every season or two we get these stories. Um, so this way you wouldn't have to necessarily rely on the whole thing of it telling a story that has to fit into the specific narrative that continues. You tell a self-contained part and let it be done. Um, Kat says, I think it would be interesting if we could see what happened to with the White Walkers after the first long night and what went on in the lands of Always Winter. I want to know how the hell they came up with this deal with Craster, and is he the only person that ever came up with that deal where you leave me alone and I give you my sons? Let's see. Ricky Hunt asked, "Do you watch Legion or American Gods?" I watched Legion. Legion was amazing. Um, it took me a little minute to get into it because you do have to get over the fact that he is crazy, and it's trying to piece together things. Once it gets to the point where you're locked in terms of, okay, uh this is who he is, this is how his powers work. You had the whole deal with the Shadow King and how that kind of connects to the larger X-Men universe. It was a great series. I can't wait to see what they do with season 2. I have not watched American Gods, and it's funny because I'm here in New York, in Brooklyn, and if you're in Brooklyn, you have like literally two choices for cable providers. Uh no, three. You got for Verizon Fios, you got Optimum, and then you got your Dish network or whatever satellite thing here. And so we have Optimum, and Optimum got rid of Stars for like the past month and a half. Stars just came back like 2 days ago. So I do want to get on American Guys because I did hear that that's good. Um, Another one, if you guys haven't checked it out, that's actually a pretty good comic book show is Gifted, the X-Men show, The Gifted. X Files, man, oh man, X Files last year was such, not even last year, the last season that they had was such trash, and then this one is kind of, oh man, oh man, the reveals that we had with the cigarette smoking man, you know, or I don't know why people like go through the hassle calling him the cigarette smoking man. I've just been calling him the smoking man for like the past 20 something years. Like ever since I was in high school. It's funny because I had a crew when I was in high school that we were the X Files crew. I was Skinner, and then I had my boy Samande, used to call him Mulder, and then my homegirl Brenda, we called her Scully. And yeah, we were the X Files crew. And it's funny because the reason why I started really watching X Files heavy is because of them. Because I was dipping in and out of X Files every now and then, but I wasn't on it like that. And I really watched it because I was with them. But then after David Duchovny left, they brought in was yeah damn, I forgot what dude's name is from dude from Terminator. I was like, man, I can't rate rock with this. It wasn't the same. It's gotta be Mulder and Scully, and apparently, oh man, Gillian Anderson. She's like, after this, it's a wrap. I'm not doing no more X Files. Cardinal Doomsday. What's going on? Yeah. So after that, I was like, yeah, I can't rock with X Files. Can't do it. I came back obviously later on, and I've tried watching the movies. The movies I didn't really think were so good. I'll be honest with you. Robert Patrick. Okay. I knew there was a Patrick in there somewhere. I just wasn't sure if it was the first or last name. Okay, when Debo breaks down the door, says, so I never watched Spartacus or so when someone says Caesar got embarrassed, I looked up and found out. Oh my god. Nah, see, yeah. Okay, so Tiberius was actually what is dude's name? Crassus. Tiberius was Crassus. Crassus is. Blah. I know when you get the S's at the end. Tiberius was a son of Crassus. All right, there we go. Oh wait, so Gillian Anderson is in American Gods. I wonder why she's like, yo, man, you know what? I'm done with X Files. And no, not James Tiberius Kirk. Definitely not James Tiberius. James Tiberius Kirk was not trying to run around raping Caesar. uh, yeah, that wasn't Caesar, man. That was Caesar salad, but that wasn't Caesar. Definitely not Caesar, man. Yeah, listen, Khan Noonan Al Singh is one of the greatest uh villains of all time. You know, yeah, Khan, one of the greatest villains of all time, man. I love Khan. Um, and I don't know, it's funny because like Star Trek Into Darkness, Khan, obviously way different. Um, why they decided to make him so different? I mean, like, don't get me wrong. Um, what's my man that played him? Damn it, Sherlock. What the hell is your name, Sherlock? Arg, Arg. Why do I not remember his name? I gotta go look for him. Benedict Cumberbatch. You would figure with a name like Benedict Cumberbatch, no one should ever forget that damn name. But somehow I did. Benedict Cumberbatch did a great job for what they gave him. Um, but I'll be honest with you, I have no idea why they cast the palest guy ever to play someone who was supposed to be of some sort of Indian, Arab, Middle Eastern, Asian descent. I have no idea why. But I think for what they gave him, he did a good job. I just don't know why they decided to go in that particular direction. I mean, and plus Ricardo Montalban, man, Ricardo Montalban, yo, he was great in that role. I mean, you know, like The Wrath of Khan is one of the greatest movies ever. Action, action, sci-fi, whatever may have you. But you know, uh, yeah, man, Rome. Oh man, I was so sad when Rome got canceled after the second season, man. Cardinal Doomsday says, "Oh, not as great as Gold Ducat. Yo, Ducat. Oh man, Gold Ducat. Gold Ducat is one of my favorite villains of all time. I must admit. Oh man, Gold Ducat. Um, Gold Ducat was the man, but was he better than Khan Noonan Alsing? Mm. I have to lay that one up to you guys. I mean, Khan versus Gold Ducat for top villain. That's a tough one. That is a tough one. All right, so Kat asks, have you seen Lucifer or Blacklist? I have not seen Lucifer. I started with the Blacklist. I fell off. I actually briefly knew one of the actors who was on the Blacklist. I don't know if he's still on the Blacklist because like I said I haven't seen it in a couple of seasons, but Dante Nero. Dante Nero, great comedian, cool dude. Was really good friends with somebody that people always say I look like, which is Patrice O'Neal. And I know why they say I look like him. It's the gap. It's the gap in the teeth. You know, it's fine. Patrice O'Neal was hilarious. Um, Ricky, there's no way you're paler than Benedict Cumberbatch. Benedict Cumberbatch is so damn pale he's almost see through. No one look. I think the only person who might be paler than Benedict Cumberbatch is Sheamus from WWE. Like it is impossible for those two men to get tans. They are so pale. Like if they tried getting tans, they turn pink, red, and orange, and that's about it. And then after the sunburn is over, they go back to being beyond pale again. Ricky, there's no way you're that pale. Come on, man, stop that. Tribbles are the best villains. Oh my god. Let's see here. You know, it's funny. I haven't seen Hannibal, and I heard that Hannibal was amazing. Um, yeah, I heard that. Uh, but Kat, are you trying to say you're as pale as Benedict Cumberbatch? Like, it's funny. Like, I don't think I've ever seen someone as pale as Benedict Cumberbatch in real life, and it's funny because like he doesn't look that pale in Doctor Strange. I don't know if they put a bronzer on him or something like that, but like definitely when he was in Star Trek Into Darkness, go look at the scene in Star Trek Into Darkness where they have him locked up when they're like, oh yeah, you want to take a sample of my blood, to prove who I am or whatever. Go look at him there. He is the same color as the jail cell that they have him in. I was like, I don't even understand how this is possible for a human. Like, yeah, Benedict Cumberbatch could be a White Walker. He's so damn clear. Like I said, him and Sheamus from the WWE. I was like, holy shit! I've never seen two people that are more white in my life. Wow. Hold on. See, Kat, I'm not believing this whole thing. Cause like, all right, now mind you, I'm just looking at the little avatar here, right? I'm just looking at the little avatar, so maybe it's because I can't see uh like a better picture of you or something. But you don't look that pale from the avatar that I can personally see, you know. But that is just me. Mm-mm-mm. How long have we been going on now? 2 hours, 12 minutes. All right, I'll give it another 15 minutes, and then I'm gonna be out of here. What the hell? What the hell? Translucent boy chest? I have to what? This, wait. Like, what the hell does that mean? Yo, what the hell? Yo, what the hell? All right, wait, hold on, Cat. What is your Twitter handle then? So that look you up on Twitter. Are you already following me on Twitter or something? Like, I gotta see like who is following me and who I am following. Yo, wow, I got 462 followers. It's crazy. I don't know why. Because I really don't tweet much. So, so now I gotta look for a cat on Twitter. All right, I think I found you. Honestly, that one picture, you do not look that pale. You do not look that pale, cat. So, I'm not seeing this whole thing of you. Look, Benedict Cumberbatch is the same color as the whatchamacallit, as like the background, as you know, the background behind your picture, cat, right? Debo said I'm look straight out for like I'm straight out of Compton. Yo, all I need is some Dr. Dre beats, hell yeah. I throw it up for the West Side. Ah, man. All right, we got any more questions? Any more questions before I wrap this up? Because yeah, wow, this is a little later than expected. Thought this was great talk though. Great talk. I'm hoping that people do get a lot out of this. It's funny. I'm looking at this stuff on YouTube. Sidebar, real quick. Um, they got all this stuff to slate in, slate out, insert ads, broadcast alerts. I have no idea how any of this shit works. And you would figure that there should be like a tutorial on YouTube as to how to um how to use like all of these functions. Mm, Ricky says he was whiter than the walls in school. Wow. Mm-mm-mm. Cardinal Doom says, why are you still awake? You look tired. It's funny. Like I generally get 4.5 to 5 hours of sleep every day, which is bad. It's really bad. I shouldn't be doing that. It's gonna catch up to me at some point. I'm gonna hit like my mid 40s. I'm gonna start looking like I'm in my mid 50s or something. I need to get more sleep. You know what the funny thing is though, because it's partially because of my goddamn cat. All right, and yeah, I don't know. It's probably bad to blame the animal, but she doesn't let me get any sleep. She comes in trying to wake me up at like freaking 3 o'clock in the morning to feed her, and I'm up there like, what the hell is wrong with you? Okay, you got a bowl full of fucking dry food, and here it is 3 o'clock in the morning, and you want to try to wake me up because you want wet food at 3 o'clock. Like, no, if you don't get the fuck out of my room with that dumb shit right now. And I try locking her out, and somehow she still figures out how to open the door. So now I'm gonna have to put like a lock on the damn door so she can't get in. It's ridiculous. It's crazy. All right. When Debo breaks down the door, says, "Put on your tinfoil hat. What if the story takes place in a lair in Illyria Mopatis?" Oh my god! Oh my god! Yo, man, yo, you were wilding. You, yo, you, yo, man, you got problems. You have serious problems. So what if the story takes place in a lair? Oh my god. What if the story takes place in a lair in Illyria Mopatis strat? Oh god. You got serious issues, man. You got some serious issues. Oh my god. Oh man. All right. Ricky Hunt asks, "Do you think that Donald Glover is a good Lando?" Very skeptical since I saw the trailer, and I'll be honest with you. I am I am very skeptical about Donald Glover as Lando Calrissian. For one, Billy D. Williams was the absolute epitome of cool. Um, for the '70s, it was supposed to be Shaft. Richard Roundtree is John Shaft. Uh, and in the 1980s, it was Billy D. Williams, period, point blank, Mister Colt 45. You know, um, and Lando Calrissian was made iconic because of Billy D. Williams. It is going to be near impossible for Donald Glover to match. Yeah, it's going to be near impossible for Donald Glover to match Billy D. Williams as Lando Calrissian. It is. I mean, like, I understand he is integral to Han's story. Um, Especially with regards to the Millennium Falcon. Oh, but oh my god, man. Look, like I said, I'm not convinced with the you know, and let me go back so I can actually get this dude's name right, because I don't want to be the dude that's just totally screwing up this kid's name all this time. Alden Alden what? Oh, oh come on, man. I'll be great. I'll be honest. I am not great with German names. Uh, Alden Ehrenreich. Alden Ehrenreich. I was calling him all kinds of other shit when I was doing the last video or some other video. I was totally screwing up the dude's name. Alden Ehrenreich. Um, yeah. Look, man. Mm, the dude exudes no charisma whatsoever, and Han Solo is supposed to be very charismatic. And I got absolutely none of that from this dude. Um, and Donald Glover looks like he needs to put on some weight. Lando Lando Calrissian wasn't just a ladies' man because he was suave, but he you know looked like somebody who worked out at least. Uh, I don't know, maybe it was the shirt or something, but yeah, Donald Glover was looking like a toothpick, and then I was just kind of like, was this Lando on crack? This crackhead Lando? Ah man, he needs to put just like do some push-ups, man. Do a circuit or something. Like, and then again, it's one of those things where can he really live up to what Billy D. Williams set for that character? I'm not sure that he can. I don't know that there's anyone who can. That's the whole thing. Um it's like there are certain characters who you can recast, and it's like if the character if the actor can find a way to make it their own, then it's like, all right, good. you know um but man, this one is a tough one, man. I don't like, for example, when Ewan McGregor played young Obi-Wan, it's like, yes, we knew it was a totally different actor, but you still got the feel like he grew up into the same guy who helped to train Luke. Uh, Alden Ehrenreich and Donald Glover. Do you think these guys grow up to be Harrison Ford and Billy D. Williams? You know, and that's the thing. It like, who in this generation right now of actors, black, white, in between, could you get to be in those roles? If I'm looking at current black actors, and I'm looking at somebody who, because you got to think about it, with Han and Lando, you'd have to you have to be afraid as a guy. You have to be, on your game 100% at all times, because if any one of them steps up, you know, if you have a woman with you, she might not leave with you. You might have come with her, and you might be leaving by yourself. And that, that's Han and Lando. Um so the question is, are there any actors today that is like, if they would have fit into those roles, if I walk into a place with a female on my arm, am I leaving with that same woman that I walked in with, or are one of them leaving with her? That is the fundamental thing, as to, like, man, okay, got it. You know, so I don't know. You know what? Yeah, post something in the comments real quick. I want to see some names. Like, who would you have cast if it's not, if it wouldn't be these two guys. If it wouldn't be these two guys. Oh my god. Debo's crazy. He says, I sold the Falcon to Han for drug money. Yeah, man. Oh my god. Mm-mm-mm. Cardinal, I'll be honest with you. I hated The Last Jedi. I absolutely hated, um yeah, I absolutely hated The Last Jedi. Sorry, Cardinal. But thank you on the fact that, you hope the girl leaves with me. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of messed up. If she came with you and left with somebody else, it's like, oh man, like, you know. Oh yeah, he was crazy. He said he would have cast Logan Paul as Lando. Yeah, Logan Paul would have. Yo, I'll be honest with you. Logan Paul might be a better Han than Alden Ehrenreich. I mean, because at least, look, Logan Paul is a goofy, you know, is a goofy, dirt bag, but he's charismatic, at least. You know, that's the thing. Alden Ehrenreich does not exude the charisma. He doesn't come off as charming. If you listen to, and mind you, I'm going off the trailers. I've never seen him in anything else. I've never seen him personally in any in any interviews or anything. But if we're going off of the trailers, everything from the trailer sounds one note. It's all, I want to be the best pilot in the galaxy. What was the other thing? They kicked me out of they kicked me out of the flight school for but they kicked me out of flight school for having a mind of my own. And he just, I don't know, man. He sounds like Your dialogue in the movie shouldn't sound like a voiceover. And it sounds as if his dialogue from the actual movie, when he's speaking to people, sounds like a voiceover. Very one note, very emotionless. And apparently, from what I'm hearing, they actually had to get him an acting coach. So yeah, I don't know. Rick Fox's Lando. Look, if it was like 20 years ago, yeah, Rick Fox as Lando might have worked. Rick Fox, unfortunately, right now is too old to play this young Lando. But nah, we need somebody, all right, because how old is this dude? So Alden Ehrenreich is 28. Um, and how old is Senor Gambino? Donald Glover is 34. Apparently, both of these guys went to New York. Yeah, what? They both went to NYU for Yeah, they both went to NYU for acting. Okay. Prestigious actors from the School of New York University. Um, yeah. I have never seen any of the movies that this gentleman has been in. Not one of them. Which isn't his fault. I mean, I never heard any of these movies. Let's see here. Anthony Mackie as Lando. Um, I think he might be able to pull off the voice better than Donald Glover. What the Oh man. Yeah, oh man, Devo's crazy. He says Whoopi Goldberg as oh my god. As Han Solo. Oh god. Uh AK, I'll catch you later. Cat, I'm gonna catch you later as well. Yeah, you know what? I need to get the hell out of here. It's been 2.5 hours. You guys get 2.5 hours out of me. Oh man. Hold on. Miles Teller. I'm looking at some of the other people that that, that were up for the role. You know what's funny? Dave Franco might have actually been a pretty good whatchamacallit, come on, help me out. Han Solo. Dave Franco might actually have been a good Han Solo. What, Scott Eastwood? Scott Eastwood might have been another one too. I'm looking at, who they were considering. Who the hell is Logan Lerman? Uh Logan Lerman. How was he? Percy Jackson? Okay. Never watched Percy Jackson. Oh man, oh man. Yeah, listen, I'm about to yeah, listen, I'm about to call it a wrap myself here. Still thinking, I'm like, who could have been? Okay, see, they don't even have a picture of that dude. Yeah, I mean, damn, I wish they would have got somebody who actually looks a little more like Harrison Ford. Like, if they wanted to do an Adventures of Luke Skywalker, they could definitely get Sebastian Stan, who plays Bucky, Lil Yachty as Han Solo. Wow. You have all set for the Migos play Lando. Uh, a legal level of bad movie? Huh? I was up with the Millennium Falcon and get at the Han, huh? Get at the Han, huh? Yeah, I wanna, huh? Oh man, oh man. Low, low pump, low pump as Han Solo. Oh man, designer as Lando. Oh my god. Oh, you people have lost it. Oh, you people have. Oh my god, Lil Pump is Chewy. All right, yeah. It's you know what. You people have lost it. You people are gone. You people are absolutely gone now. Oh man, listen. I don't know. I might be doing a Black Panther one tomorrow on the other channel. Uh, I saw Black Panther last night. I liked it, but I think I want to see it one more time. One more again, as they say in the South. Before I do a review on that. I don't know. I'll figure something out. Anyway, yeah, listen, it has been great as always. I am so happy to be back doing this again. Um, yeah, it will not be another 2 week hiatus. I can promise you that one. Work was the worst. Oh, as far as the Agents of Shield chat, that will be on my man Darren Jakes. Darren from these reviews, that will be on his chat. So I will leave the link on Twitter. Make sure to follow me on Twitter. All right, you'll see the link when that whole thing gets posted. Should be next Thursday at 9 p.m. Like I said, next Friday, I will be back for another one of these. I don't know. Hit me up on Twitter. Let me know what characters you want to see me talk about, or Ice and Fire subjects. Period. All right. Yeah. So, you guys already know the deal. Rate, comment, subscribe, share, tell your friends, and come back for more. Thank you to everybody who is with me live tonight. Thank you to all of those who will watch this in the future. Thank you to all of the new subscribers. I gained a couple of subscribers, surprisingly, while I wasn't doing videos. Funny, but I love it. Anyway, that has been my time. This is your boy Don Willie saying Valado Hyris, and I will see you next week. Oh yeah, and Debo, you're not gonna see this for a couple of seconds, but